Hey everybody, today we're talking about the report on the Miami Dolphins bullying case, what's up with the new fans, and Sochi, plus our Beasts and Busters on That's What She Said Sports. Hey everybody, welcome to That's What She Said Sports. I am your sports chick, Nicole, Monique, and this is my co-dude, BG.
Yeah.
And we want to welcome the rest of our sports chicks and sports dudes to the show. All those listening to us on our podcasts on Podbean and iTunes. And don't forget all those listening to us on the I-95 Sports Network. And remember, you can also check us out on our YouTube channel. So, BG.
Let's do it.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Smashing. Outstanding.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I'm just
man.
saying.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot to be me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do know that. I do know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's happening?
You know what? I'm good.
How was the weekend?
Not feeling 100%, but still making it work.
Right.
You know, and then the weather is just tripping us out. For all you know, in Atlanta, you know, we've had those too many snowstorms back to back.
Snowmageddon,
right.
And part 2.
But yet it was like 72 degrees today. So I think that's what's contributing to, you know, not feeling 100% because you never know. Is it gloves? Is it flip-flops? Am I wearing my parka? I'm putting on some shorts? Like, what is going on?
I know, it's crazy. You know, you go to work, you know what I'm saying? A turtleneck and shorts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I feel you. I'm right there with you.
So, but other than that, everything's good?
Yeah, man. How was the weekend?
It was good. Like I said, just not feeling the greatest.
Right. Good.
So,
you know, I enjoy the weekend. Yeah. I live for the weekend.
Well, they're not long enough.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Outside of that.
I'm so happy they come.
Yeah.
But I'm so sad when they go.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course. But we had to tell everybody we had a great weekend. We got to meet up with our spouses.
We did.
You know, obviously because of the bad weather, we couldn't do anything on Valentine's Day, but we met up.
Didn't.
We met up that Saturday. And
Saturday night, which was a little nippy in the air.
Me and Mrs. G, aka Big Red, as he likes to call her. We surprised the boys and took them out to dinner.
Yeah.
And took them to a nice seafood spot.
Right.
And all of us got sick. And I'm not talking about sick in a bad way.
No.
I'm talking about we ate some food.
Talking about tightness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That tightness.
Yeah. What do you call it? The discount?
The discount
double check. But it was actually a discount triple check.
Man.
We did it killed it with the appetizers.
Whoa.
We should have stopped there.
Yeah.
And I think I ate a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then the dessert was just insane.
Actually, it was so bad because the shipment's not coming in. They ran out of fish. The longer we were there, the more fish they ran out of. At one point, they had ran out of catfish, tilapia, grouper, salmon.
Welcome to Snowmageddon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we just basically ate what was left of the menu.
But you had some folk that were in there that was pretty hot. They were hot as about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they was pretty hot.
But we made the most of it. I think we were just glad to be out.
Yeah, man. I mean, really. I mean, I didn't really have the cabin fever thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was fine staying home.
You know, it's like, you know, people that I talked to was like, no, man, I had to leave run to the Walmart.
Right.
I was like, go ahead, player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was straight.
I was good.
You know, I
was good.
Get my work in. My work is done. Go back upstairs.
Hey, we had some movies to watch.
Kick back.
That was it.
Hey, man, I was good.
So
didn't have to put on no kind of uniform.
Right.
You know, skivvies and a house coat.
And producer said you had a good weekend. Yeah, he gave us the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Bet he did.
You know what?
International lover.
Don't put his business out there. Don't put his business out there.
All right. I ain't gonna do that to you, Dirk. I mean, say it. My bad.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about, folks. There's a lot going on. As you know, the end of last week and over the weekend. We had the NBA All-Star game.
Right on.
So that was something we'll definitely have to talk about because it was interesting. A lot of people necessarily weren't feeling a lot of the All-Star game.
Yeah, you know. I mean,
well, let's just talk about it real quick because
let's get into it.
Because I'll be honest with you, I did not like the way they did Saturday night. With the whole East-West thing. I want the individual competition back.
Right.
I didn't care for that.
You know what? I had this discussion with a couple of the fellas. You know, you always have to have that diverse group of fellas that you had that discussion with.
Right.
You know, you got your corporate dude, you know what I mean? You got to have you one of those grimy street cats.
Right.
And then you got to have your dude that's kind of, you know, towing the line a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't know how he's going to go.
Like corporate grimy.
Bingo.
Okay.
So, you know, I pose this question to my dudes, right? So, the one that I least expected to come up with this great idea, Mr. Grimy.
And what was it?
He said, you know what they need to do?
Yeah.
Get the 3 best dunkers from the NBA.
Okay.
Get 3 great dunkers from the streets.
Hello.
Put $1 million on the line.
Now that's a show.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would be a show.
And I know y'all remember those and one cats.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Get some of those cats. I know they can do it.
Yeah.
Get those sick with it and go get it.
Yeah.
You know, above the rim and them cats.
And that would make it interesting.
Absolutely,
it was just boring. It wasn't just me. There wasn't really like that hype about NBA All-Star Weekend that you usually get.
It wasn't.
Because there was a lot of us out on Saturday night and people were just kind of like, okay. Whereas back in the day, you were trying to get home like never before because you didn't want to miss anything.
Right.
I mean, even the dunk contest, I mean, it was okay.
It was all right. Yeah.
You know,
it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they can do to bring the hype back, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because then, too, you know, I was watching my man Chuck Barkley and the crew.
Right.
You know, they were just saying, you know, that there was a lot of great players that got snubbed for the All-Stars. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I agree that they're great players, but I mean,
it's also
what puts that nail in it to say, hey, yes, you are definitely an all-star.
But here's the thing, too. At the end of the day, it's still a popularity contest.
It is. It really is.
So even before social media, the popular guys still got in.
Right.
So with that, you know, I think Dr. J said it best because I was watching that, too. These guys are mini corporations.
Right.
So you have these guys to where no matter how good they are, they don't want to lose at anything.
Right.
Because they have these other, you know, these big sponsors weighing on them. So if they lose, all of a sudden, oh, Nike's a loser. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want all that. And plus they don't need it.
Right. That's interesting.
Which is bad, but because at the end of the day, it is about the fans.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
So when he said it like that, like honestly, that whole big thing of LeBron being in it, you know, we're 10 years in. I don't need LeBron in it anymore.
No,
it'd have been more interesting if LeBron was in it, let's say, this first few years.
Right.
But at this point, I'm good.
But, you know, I mean, not to date ourselves, but, you know, for us, you know, we still remember Dr. J and the fur waving in the wind, you know, and winning that joint.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
with just
I was a baby.
Statue of Liberty dunk.
I wasn't a 40-year-old man like you were at the time, Mr. 64. But yeah, I hear.
Okay, all right. I see where this is going. All right, okay.
So now, what did you think of the uniforms? Because people went nuts on Twitter about those uniforms.
OMG, they were vile.
Yeah.
And some of the things
and I like what my boy Wilbon said. They did look like soccer uniforms.
No.
It was crazy.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you can get that to soccer at all.
Oh, okay.
Man, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
But you had some people in Twitter just straight going in.
Yeah. I was
those uniforms.
One of the things that I really liked was Pharrell in the beginning.
That's it.
When he brought out, you know, seeing all those like top hits.
Now I'll tell you what I did like.
The halftime show was pretty decent.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I did like.
Okay.
The warm-ups. I liked what the warm-ups, you know, how they had like the huge E and the huge W.
Right.
And they had like little emblems on there to signify, you know, whether they won a championship, whether they won an MVP or scoring title. And I thought that was a pretty neat twist.
And I didn't know what was going on either, but did Dwight Howard purposely order like a medium shirt? Because he had like the tightest shirt. I'm just putting it out there.
We can't get that dude no airtime.
I'm just saying. Does his shirt have to be 10 times smaller than everybody else?
Yeah, he had some medium on. He had some medium on. I mean, his shirt was so tight his jaws were swollen. It's like,
I was just wondering what was going on.
Yeah. So, yeah, he wanted that extra small for real.
But we posed the question on our website, folks. So if you can, go to twssports.com. We wanted to find out from you, you know, what did you think about the NBA All-Star Weekend? Would you watch it again? Would you make any changes? What you didn't like? So definitely let us know. Yeah,
we definitely want to know what you changed about it.
Yeah.
Because I personally think those tank tops got to go. Or whatever that was, halter tops.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, I just want Saturday night to go and just bring back the individual competition.
Yeah, man.
So how about do that?
Now, I'll tell you what. The celebrity game was quite interesting.
It was okay. Even that was kind of weak to me.
Well, for me, I always like to see those that are out there that truly got game.
Right.
Arnie Duncan, by far.
Yeah.
Got game.
Oh yeah,
he was killing fools.
Yeah,
and you man,
that's why I'm glad Kevin Hart gave him the MVP because he deserved it.
Exactly. Your man Michael B. Jordan can get down too.
Yeah,
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had game like that.
Well, the man's name is Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
Hello.
But he was taking Master P's little boy though.
Well, okay.
He was taking his cookies.
I think I could take Romeo.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
him and his little USC debut. But anyway. Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into, because I started out the show, we had talked about last Friday, Ted Wells revealed his independent investigation on the bullying case that's affecting the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
It amazes me how we're actually looking into spring training for baseball, but we still have tons of NFL news coming in.
Yeah.
And there were some items that came away from the report. And really just want to go over this with you all. And if you hadn't read it, you could definitely find it online because it's interesting and disturbing at the same time.
It is. It really is.
Because obviously more information came out. And I think we all pretty much knew this was going to happen after the season. You know, at the time when they said they were doing the independent investigation, everybody was like, well, what are we going to find out? There's going to be some digging. You have to peel back some layers.
Right.
So ultimately, the report finds that the assistant trainer repeatedly was the object of racial slurs and other racially derogatory language. That the other offensive lineman was subjected to offensive lineman was subjected to homophobic name calling and improper physical touching, and that Martin was taunted on a persistent basis with sexually explicit remarks about his sister and his mother, and at times ridiculed with racial insults and other offensive comments, Wells has said in a statement. So when it, for me, okay, so we hear that. So right off the bat, when is it ever appropriate to talk about someone's sister and mother in a sexually explicit way? Well, I think you and I know the difference. We talk about, joning and going back and forth.
Right.
But as a man, speak on that, B.
But I mean, that has to be a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we gonna go in with the mama jokes.
Right.
If there's not a mutual understanding, then I have to go old school.
But there's a dozens and mama jokes, but then they're sexually explicit.
Yeah. You're not gonna play the dozens when it comes to my mama.
Right.
Because that's where I'm gonna draw the line. Right there. And that's gonna be fighting words. Somebody's mouth gonna look like ketchup.
Right.
And it ain't gonna be mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, when you open it up for the mama jokes, again, that's a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
But when you playing the dozens, you know what I mean? It's always one side.
Right.
You just going in and
But this doesn't even sound like the dozens because, I mean, the other guy wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, it is. Just as the report says, it's harassment.
Right. So the harassment of Martin was described as bearing many hallmarks of a classic case of bullying where a person who are in position of power harass the less powerful. To me, I took that as, I broke this down in several issues, and I'd love to hear from you all to see how you feel about it. And again, you can always hit us up on Twitter at the hashtag #SheSaidSports. I see it as a mental health issue. I mean, you know what I mean? Because you're constantly being harassed. You got workplace harassment.
Right.
Okay. And then you have grown men acting like boys, but that not all athletes act like incognito. That's the thing.
Right.
So that misconception of boys will be boys, no. Not all men are acting like this.
Nope.
So let's just take that out of the equation. We're not saying not all men and definitely not all NFL players.
Right.
So, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Right. I think a lot of us have played, sports on some level, be it Little League, high school, or whatever. And there is a level of bantering that'll go on no matter what level.
And it's to be expected.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, for the greater good of the team, you always know who you can count on.
Yeah.
This, like you said, this was pure and unadulterated harassment.
Yeah.
I think this guy felt, a lot of times like, hey, wait a minute, who is this guy?
Right.
I can't trust him.
Right.
I don't know that I can go to battle with him or not.
You talking about Martin, how he felt about incognito.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and a person to go in persistent like that, when I'm sure that everybody else let up at some point.
Yeah.
But he sounds like he's that guy that just keeps digging.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if you look back at his background, incognito is that guy who just kept poking you in the arm.
Yeah, but I mean, a guy like that clearly is just unhappy with himself.
So the report concludes that the harassment by Martin's teammates was a contributing factor in his decision to leave the team. The statement said, but also finds that Martin's teammates did not intend to drive Martin from the team or cause him lasting emotional injury. That's the part that's funny to me because I'm sure all bullies are like, well, I didn't mean to make you mad. I didn't mean to make you cry. I didn't mean to make you this, that, and the other.
That's easy to say in hindsight.
Right.
Very easy.
So here's the executive summary of the findings. There's 15 takeaways that I thought were interesting. And again, all this information is online and it's very detailed. And for all of you all that don't know, a lot of this stuff is actually in a notebook that Richie and a couple of his teammates actually kept. So, I mean, they had this stuff documented. So it's one thing they're out there harassing folks, but then their dumb behinds are actually
keeping score?
Right, leaving evidence
Wow.
Yeah, because it's also Pouncey was involved. Like you said, there was another line coach that was involved.
Right.
So
and see, for me, I think that was the breaking point for Martin.
Right.
If you can't go to your superior, if you can't go to the person that's supposed to have some kind of control over the situation, you know what I mean? If you have an ally in them, then it's like, hey, who can you trust?
Right. So here are the 15 takeaways. You had Martin was subjected to persistent harassing language. Martin was most troubled by persistent and graphic comments about his sister. The harassment humiliated Martin and contributed to his mental health issues. The mistreatment of Martin is consistent with a case of workplace bullying. Incognito, Jerry, and Pouncey harassed other Dolphins personnel. Repeated acts of harassment contributed to Martin's departure. Martin did not fabricate his allegations of harassment. The extent to which the abuse resulted from racial animus is unclear. The culture of the Dolphins' offensive line does not excuse the mistreatment of Martin. Martin never reported the abuse of the Dolphins organization. The fine book shows that Incognito knew that the harassment affected Martin. No malicious physical attack of Martin occurred at a 2012 Christmas party. Coach Philman and the front office did not know about the harassment. The verbal abuse was contrary to team policies, and the Dolphins' plan to improve the team's workplace contact policies are commendable. Okay, I'll tell you, out of all of that, the biggest piece of crap for me is the fact that the coach and the front office did not know.
Right.
They may not have known the specifics, but just talking to some other NFL players, especially retired players, they always know some element as far as what's going on. Oh, they had an inkling.
Yeah. Because
you know what I'm saying?
The GM is on the field, especially, during 2 days or whatever, more than anybody else a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because they're still, sewing up contracts and things of that nature. So I'm sure the general manager knew about it.
Yeah. And just the fact that Incognito and his little crew felt that they could actually harass other personnel.
Yeah.
That just shows you the level of disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay, these are guys working.
Yeah.
They trying to pay their bills and feed their families, and you want to harass them.
But you know what's crazy though, is that now that this has all happened, I'm glad for one.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. I mean, I don't care what the situation is. No one should ever have to endure that.
Right.
Especially in a place that you're working, be it sports or wherever.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one should have to endure that because again, the work itself needs to be priority.
Right.
But Miami has a mess on their hands, man.
Yeah.
Good luck with cleaning that up.
Well, and not only that, B, I also want to bring up how will the NFL handle this, and also Michael Sam, because a huge part of this report is the locker room language and the homophobic slurs just at Martin. So not only does the Miami Dolphins have an issue, the NFL has an issue. And like we've discussed, we're not naive to think, and I'm sure any sports fan out there, especially a football fan, the language is not going away.
No.
And first of all, and even as a woman, I'm not looking for it to go away because that's part of it. Okay.
Right.
I get that. But on the same token, it's just going to be interesting to see how it's addressed and how it's handled, because it's not going to happen overnight. And I think what we're talking about is the level of the language, not the whole, hazing rookies and like you said, the bantering that goes in the locker rooms. But this level is so vile with talking about somebody's sister and mother to a level to where it's just disgusting. That's the piece. That's the issue.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be something that we definitely need to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah.
Especially from the NFL perspective. The Miami Dolphins they're
gonna have to clean house.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy for them.
No.
You know what I mean? Because for one, and I've been real critical of this, even here in Atlanta.
Right.
I mean, I don't think these sports conglomerates or whatever they're called, I don't think they should actually be overseers of a sports franchise.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think you have to have somebody who has a true mind for business and how it should work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, and if you ask me, I think that's where it starts.
Yeah,
I think that's
because it is a place of business.
Bingo.
I mean, the biggest word too that came out of all that. How many times do we hear the word harassment?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's still my job. NFL players and those who play sports, that's still a job for them.
Okay, preach then.
So
go preach.
Well, I'm just saying,
man. It's man. I just kind of. It makes me feel some kind of way because this gets so much light at this point. Because on one hand, you're thinking, okay, this is totally unnecessary.
Right.
The other hand, you're thinking, okay, why are we even talking about this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you kind of feel like the Dolphins as an organization should have been able to handle this to some degree.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my thing is at this point, I mean, Martin, he pretty much has all the balls in his court.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident he'll be playing again.
Oh, absolutely.
Incognito, I don't see it.
Not so much.
And Kwiatkowski kept him and his little cronies, all of them. So let's kind of flip this now, because we talked about the sport. You know, we talked about the Dolphins. I want to talk about the fan. I want to talk about fans.
Right.
And because this is something that just came out. This is a story that came out that really had bugged both of us. And I really want to talk about like the new fan and what it means to be a sports fan. And as a lot of us know, it's a way to connect with other people who share your same love for the same team. It's about celebration. You know, sports fandom can be healthy. Studies have found that an attachment to a team can protect people from depression and do wonders for fostering feelings of self-worth and belonging. I mean, it's fun. We're fans.
Right.
I mean, and we're fans on many levels. I mean, I got you loving curling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I'm your dude with curling.
Right. So when you're a fan, you know, and it's interesting. I read this article. It's online. It's called Mother Nature Network. They described a fan can also produce, get this, folks, heart attacks. Because the connection between emotions and cardiac health, heart-related death can rise or fall in a region depending on how the local team fares.
I can believe that.
Car accidents.
Ooh.
A North Carolina State University researcher discovered that there was an increase in auto-related deaths in cities where the local college and pro football and basketball teams have just won by a close margin. And that's even after factoring in drunk driving, since study shows that as many as 8% of attendees are legally drunk after a game. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is interesting too. The study also found that they devised a closeness scale from 1 to 5. And for each point the game increased on the scale, there was an average of almost 22% in traffic deaths and a whopping 133% increase from 1 to 5. So for every 4 close games, there is an additional death near the game location, one of the researchers has found. That's deep.
That is deep.
All right. Despondency. When your team loses, oftentimes depressions may follow. Loss is one of the most psychologically disappointing experiences that a person can have. And I'll be honest with you, I have felt this before.
You have.
You know me.
Yeah.
I can get in with my teams now.
Right.
Okay, so then after that, you have raised stress hormones. There was a study published in 2012 that said that measured hormone levels in saliva samples taken from 58 soccer fans in Spain during the 2010 World Cup. Mm-hmm. And all those participating were fans of Spain's team. And even though Spain took home the cup, all participants had elevated levels of cortisol, a hormone associated with stress and testosterone. And lastly,
interesting,
being a fan can bring on junk food binges. A loss by a favorite team can lead to a loss of self-control. There was a study that showed that there's that losing can manifest in junk food binging. In the study, researchers examined data from NFL fans and found that consumption of saturated fat spiked by 16% for fans whose favorite team had lost. Yet the converse is true as well. After a win, fat consumption went down by 9% and overall calorie consumption dropped by 5%.
Pass the jar of mayonnaise.
Right.
Pass the jar of mayonnaise.
So I'm sharing all this, and you know, some of it's kind of cheeky and funny or whatever. But on the same token, this has to do again with that other side of fandom that we talked about. You know, when it turns, you have fan, short from fanatics,
right?
Which is filled with or expressing excessive zeal. But when does it go too far? And this is the case of Rashaan Evans, who's 6'3", 217 pounds. He's a 5-star outside linebacker from Auburn High School and was the number 2 prospect on the National Signing Day recently. Right. And he tweeted about the harassment because it's gotten so bad. It's gotten to people have really taken this to another level. Because you have this kid, again, number 2 in the country, went to one of the best high schools in Auburn, but he picked Alabama.
Right.
As far as to go to school.
Right.
So he tweeted about the harassment. He said, "It's grown men. They're asking me, why did I do this to them? I told them I had to do what is best for me." He also reported saying, "Someone actually put out an article about my family's business, telling all Auburn fans not to go there. We are going to eventually start losing money. People are telling restaurants in the town not to serve us."
Wow.
When did it get that deep? When did we lose that zeal and that whole point of it being fun to now? Why are we so angry?
Yeah, and why would you harass a child?
Right.
But let me give you a little bit of history about this.
Okay.
Auburn Alabama rivalry.
Yeah.
Now,
tree killer.
Yeah. You know, the only rivalry that I had any close ties to, of course, being from Florida, is the Florida-Georgia.
Right.
You know, the world's largest cocktail party.
Right.
And, you know, my experiences with that were, I mean, there were some pretty fanatical people.
Right.
But after the game, they all drank together. Yeah. Had a great time. Win, lose, or draw.
Right.
Auburn, Alabama fans, on the other hand, are totally loco. And I don't mean that as a point of just saying it.
Right.
I was traveling to Birmingham. Traffic backed up. Yeah. Coming around the bend. If you've ever been to Birmingham, you're going into the city, right there by the BJCC. You can get off right there to go downtown, or keep on going past to go to the outskirts. I'm right there on that little bend right there. Yeah. Traffic backed up. I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at my watch. It's just 2:00. Right. So it's not rush hour traffic. Yeah. What in Hades is going on? Right. You have an Auburn and an Alabama fan parked on 20.
Fighting.
Finger pointing. Oh. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself,
if you don't put them fingers away,
what in the hell is going on? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Man, when I tell you I was hotter than fish grease on a Friday, I could have pulled over myself and grabbed both of them, because they both were about $1.05. Right. You know, and just tossed them in their cars, man. Right. But I mean, they take it to a whole nother level. Right. You know, if you've never seen that 30 for 30, War Eagle, Roll Tide War Eagle, it's for real, man. Yeah. It is real. These people take it to an unscrupulous level.
Well, and not only them, because I don't want you to think by any means we're picking on Auburn and Alabama. We're looking at fans. I mean, look at the guy in San Francisco who had worn so-called the wrong jersey and got into it, and they damn near beat him to death. Yeah. I mean, people have taken it, and I wanted, you know,
and that happened a couple times out there. Yeah. On the left coast.
Yeah, but it's almost like, is it social media? I mean, is it the money? I know you always say follow the money. I mean, what is that that's getting people so? Because as much as I still love, and Lord knows I love me some football. Right. I've never wanted to kill anybody or fight.
I think people just literally just take it too far, man. Yeah. I think some people just aren't stable enough mentally to just understand that. They just lose it.
But to tell this kid,
absolutely, I totally
to
agree.
have grown men tell this kid, why did you do this to me?
Right.
Are you serious?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Why did you do this to me?
For real?
And you know, I kind of alluded to when I said tree killer, the guy who killed the trees. Yeah. Well, it was the big tree, the University of Auburn.
Right. The Alabama fan poured strychnine on it.
Poison on the tree. Yeah. This is a tree that had been there for years.
For hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's like, is it that deep?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you know, it's I really don't know what to say about that, because that's a double-edged sword. Right. You know, because I also have a little bit of a problem with the way that they prop these kids up so early as well. You know, not saying that if you don't prop them up early.
But maybe we should have signing day be like such an event. I mean, maybe that's part of it too.
Hey, I'm all for it, because I'm going to tell you something. Back in the day, you know, the guys that came out of my high school that were phenomenal athletes that went on to do great things, even at the pro level, there was none of that fanfare, man. Yeah. There was not but I mean, I understand why there wasn't a new camera at my school, but I'm just saying, I mean, there was no fanfare.
Yeah. And well, maybe we should go back to that, because it's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I mean, man. You've seen mothers not happy with the hat that their son picked on live television.
What about this kid?
The LSU kid.
Right. Exactly. Now his brother. Right. Him and his brother both bolted from Louisiana. Mom's still pissed off. Right. I'm like, what? Woman, you have two sons that have the capability of making it to the next level to where you can just sit down.
And she's still not
happy. You acting a monkey.
And she's still not happy.
Yeah, man. Just crazy.
Well, the good thing for Rashaan Evans, he said the support from the Alabama fans has been by far the greatest. He said they made me feel a lot better about my decision. They're doing nothing but showing me love. They made me see I have people who are always going to have my back. But again, you don't you don't tell people to stop going to somebody's business because they didn't pick the school that you wanted.
Yeah, that's out of bounds, man.
So folks, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the new fans? And again, this is not everybody. We're not condemning everybody, but these stories, though, are growing more and more. Like I said, the incidents, especially out there in San Francisco, have been so scary just because people have almost killed people.
Right.
I mean, you have fans who are jumping on referees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially in soccer.
Yeah.
That's huge. So we want to hear from you as far as how do you feel about these new fans? I mean, is it out of control? What can we do to protect these kids? Again, hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter at #SheSaidSports and let us know. And have you ever been that fan? Has somebody ever got on you because you were wearing the wrong jersey? Right. Or were you ever in an event and somebody said something crazy? So,
but you know what though, I don't know that's necessarily new.
Yeah,
I think
and it's not new, but there's something definitely in the water, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it's not new. I think it's and you have to forgive me on this, but I mean, we keeps it real on here.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it is it's not necessarily the school itself.
Yeah,
or the team that they have so much love in. I mean, there are incidences where clearly, it's something outside of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm speaking about racism.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. And that's why I don't support the University of Florida to this day.
Right.
Had the luxury of going to a game to support a buddy of mine. There's about 5 of us that went. Mm-hmm. And, of course, he's playing for the opposing team.
Right.
We're sitting in the stadium or whatever. I'm having a good time. I mean, the seats weren't that great because, he's on the opposing team.
Right.
But, I mean, to have people behind you, and we'll say it was an accident,
right?
For argument's sake,
right? But
to have beer pouring on you, and you turn around and then you realize, okay, well, I can't knuck up in here,
right?
You know what I mean? Because you are outnumbered.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and I've actually heard people say they don't want their girlfriends or kids to go to some of these events.
Oh, absolutely, man.
It gets that bad.
Absolutely, I will be the first to tell you it was very easy for me to walk away from coaching.
Right,
very easy.
Yeah,
because you have parents, you know what I mean, of kids that are minors. I mean, kids are well away from high school or getting any recognition.
Yeah,
and they feel like their kid is that kid.
Yeah,
that just take it overboard.
Yeah,
they want to approach you and things of that nature. And to me, that's just crazy, man.
Yeah. So again, we don't know what's going on, but wanted to share this story. If you're not familiar with Rashawn Evans, definitely look him up and send him some love because
show this kid some love.
He's gonna feel it, especially when the season starts.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So B, I want to know, would more people be excited about the Winter Olympics if more Americans were winning? I mean, we're watching it, but I just feel like nobody's really watching it.
That's a good question. But I think we're just sports fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I told you, I wasn't into curling.
But it seems like, there's been some really special moments. We've had some great moments with hockey, ice dancing, curling, bobsled. Right. But and I know we are not hitting all the events. Like we didn't do well, with the inline skating, and the bobsledding, not bobsledding, the snowboarding, and things like that, and some of the skiing events.
Slalom.
But it just seems like people aren't really into it.
Now here is what I've picked up on in the Twitter sphere.
Okay, what you got?
A lot of people, they can't get excited about it because it already happened. You know what I mean?
That does. So the time delay does suck.
Yeah. So if you go to any news outlet, it's like, oh, they got the gold. No, I didn't see that last night.
Because last night, I made the mistake of looking on Twitter before I'm watching ice dancing, and I found out who already won the gold. Yeah. So it did kind of bum me out because I'm like, okay, great, they're gonna win.
Right.
But we've had that before.
Right.
And it was still, I don't know. It's just different.
But you have to make a concerted effort to ignore that or just not look, because it doesn't matter if you go to your email
or still just support them.
Yeah, you go to your email, you look on a ticker, be it local news or whatever, it's going to be there. So
but people should be used to that. News is constantly coming at you.
So I guess you just got to be interested in how it actually went down. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then also too, I think the weather here has played a big part. They've been killing it. The snow's been killing the Northeast.
The East Coast.
We had our little storms, so people really haven't been into it. And then you go watch the Winter Olympics, and people got on tank tops.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's like 70 degrees in Sochi.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's just now snowing.
But yet they're skiing, they're snowboarding,
right?
And then you're like, hey, wait a minute, is that Atlanta?
So, but folks,
is that Atlanta? Sochi?
Definitely support Team USA. So that's all we're asking.
USA.
All right, so Derek Jeter is going to retire after the 2014 season, ending a 19-year career.
Cool in the game.
I think we all saw
right
that
on
coming.
to the real.
Yeah, I think we all saw that coming.
Good deal, Derek.
Want to congratulate Michael Jordan and his new wife Yvette for welcoming identical twin daughters.
Two babies.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one, money.
So it must be nice to be born and you born rich. Just saying.
Yes.
You're born and you already have a job.
You're born rich and your grandkids are already rich. Must be nice.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm jealous. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
just understand. I just understand.
In the what news. Yeah. In the what Michael Vick has reportedly teamed up with Bow Wow to create a new line of hair care products. Yeah, you heard me. The new line will feature everything from do-rags, brushes, skull caps, and pomade, and it's called Wave Masters.
Right on.
So,
yeah.
Did you want me to hook you up with some products?
Cool. Yes, I need a little pomade.
Okay.
And I'm going to need... No, I don't need...
Get, producer said, a do-rag or something?
Yeah, I don't need a do-rag. I need a stocking cap. How many of y'all out there remember the stocking cap?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting. That's why I called it in the what.
Exactly,
so, lastly, folks, we want to talk about, because this is something that B brought to my attention, and actually I have been reading about it and just really didn't know how to approach it because these are serious allegations.
Right.
But right now, the allegations against Darren Sharper, who last used to play for the New Orleans Saints, are just that, allegations.
Right.
And as we all know, and I'm a big for
allegedly,
everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty, but. He's been suspended without pay from the NFL Network, and he is the suspect in 7 alleged rapes, all of which occurred where he allegedly had drugged each victim. The incidents were alleged to happen between September 2013 to January 2014, so this is recent. And he remains free on a $200,000 bail, cannot leave LA, and required to surrender his passport. And it was just maybe like a week or two ago, it was just 2 victims, but now more and more victims.
7?
Is now 7.
7. So
it's very alarming, very disturbing. These are serious allegations.
Wow.
They're calling him a pretty much a psychopath. And again, they're allegations. We don't know.
Allegedly this happened.
So, but just, we did want to report it, and we just have to watch to see what happens, because it's very scary. And the reason, for me, I think we have to be careful is because once you label someone and then the outcome is different,
right?
You got to be careful. Right. Words like rapist, child molester,
right? And unfortunately for us, in the African American community, even if the truth prevails, that's something that's still going to follow him. Yeah. So that's why, I have no problem talking about it, but I just want you to let you know, again, they're allegations and it's all allegedly. Right.
So,
and I tell you, it's really hard to believe, because Darren Sharper's not a bad looking guy. I mean,
it's not even about the looks piece of it. It's just, because regardless if you're good looking or ugly, whatever, you could be a rapist, but it's just, you have 7 victims. Nobody's asking for money. So, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, where is this coming from? Yeah. So that just makes it all disturbing.
Yeah. That's very, very,
okay,
very,
folks. Remember, you are watching and listening to That's What She Said Sports. I'm Nicole Monique, and I'm with my co-dude BG.
Yep.
And it's now time for Beast, and Busters.
Bust.
And we have to give up our first Beast to Kyrie Irving, NBA All-Star MVP.
Who went to Duke.
And no one asked.
Let's go, Duke.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, football history was made between the Texas Revolution and the North Texas Crunch. 36-year-old Jennifer Welter, yes, you heard me say Jennifer Welter.
Right on.
Got 3 carries, making her the first woman to play a non-kicking position in a pro football league. And nobody's talking about it. I'm the only one who's talking about it. So I wanted to bring it out there to everybody's attention. Yeah. Aww. So go Jennifer. Aww. Yeah. She also got hit by a big lineman, but they said she could take a hit. So that says a lot.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
Did she get some ice for her noggin?
Hey now. Oh,
she might have been unconscious.
Oh, and did I mention she's a PhD? She's a sports psychologist. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you go, girl. So she should know better than to be.
You know what? Congratulations to rookie Austin Dillon, who will start from the pole in next Sunday's Daytona 500 and be riding in Earnhardt's iconic number 3 car. Dillon is the grandson of team owner Richard Childress, who owns the rights to the number of the racing circuit. Needless to say, it's not going over well. A lot of Dale Earnhardt fans are not happy.
No.
But in the same token, I think it's pretty cool, especially the fact that Junior was like, "Hey, I don't care."
I don't care.
Because at the end of the day, the car should be bigger than his dad anyway.
Right.
So.
That's cool though, man. That's cool. I'm feeling that.
Magic Johnson buys the WNBA team, the LA Sparks.
Nice.
So
Magic be making moves. I'm telling you, Magic be making some moves.
And I thought it was kind of cool because we have now Coach Cooper, who's a new coach here for the Atlanta Dream.
Got the Cooper loop,
and now you have Magic Johnson,
right?
And I'm hoping that this kind of revitalizes the WNBA.
I hope so as well. Because if you haven't gone to WNBA game, it's quite entertaining, especially here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just because we have a great team.
Yeah.
But
it helps.
It does. It does. It really does.
All right. So lastly, we were talking about the Olympics. We want to give a big shout out and a big beast to Steve Holcomb, who made history again for the U.S. bobsled team. Holcomb, along with Stephen Langston, took home the bronze medal, and they gave the U.S. its first two-man medal since 1952.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's huge.
Steve was out there gimpy. He had one wheel.
Yeah,
because he
had busted his calf muscle.
Yeah,
right?
he strained his calf muscle, but you can tell.
Yeah,
dude was swole up.
So that's pretty exciting.
He must be on that clear.
So of course we have to give you a buster. We just happen to have a nice long list of beasts.
Buster.
But we got to give you a buster. And this buster goes out to a stripper by the name of Bella, who wrote a tell-all book about Michael Vick. Supposedly, the relationship lasted from 2003 to 2011. And she tells us that Vick is straight. Okay, good to know. Thanks. There was sex parties at Vick's home in which Vick and his secret lover would sneak around to other rooms and watch other people having sex. Okay. All this took place while he was seeing his now wife. Okay. And the book is titled Quarterback Keeper. Okay. She's tried to raise some money on Kickstarter. People were so freaked out. She couldn't even raise the money. I don't know how she ended up self-publishing or whatever. But Bella, really?
Bella, you need a hobby
Seriously?
or something.
First of all, Bella, I don't think anybody is shocked that an NFL player might have tipped out on his woman, or just, let's say, an athlete, not necessarily even an NFL player. It happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Not saying they're all cheaters, but it can happen. And I'm sure you're not the first, the last stripper. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm in love with the stripper.
So, but to put it in a book, seriously, I think somebody did that before by the name of Superhead.
Yeah, Bella.
And so we're all kind of over those books.
Keep it moving. Nothing new here.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Nothing
and guess
to
what?
see.
Michael Vick's married now, so he put a ring on it, and she doesn't even care.
She don't even care.
So, yeah. So, Bella, you are our
Bella.
buster.
All your efforts just went awry.
Yeah. So, next time, just saying. Thank you for watching and listening to That's What She Says Sports Talk Her Way. Remember, you can catch us on podbean.com and iTunes and our YouTube channel and on the I-95 Sports Network. And you can now listen to I-95 Sports Network at 712-432-3393.
Right on.
Be sure to visit our website, twssports.com. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at TWSS Sports, and BG.
Big BG, the number one.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and check us out on Google+. And as always, we want to know what you're thinking. Always use the hashtag She Said Sports. BG, any last words?
Nope.
Good?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm liking the Olympics, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm just liking the fact that I convinced you to love some curling.
You know what? I'm tripping, right? I wasn't feeling the curling because I saw it a little bit. And I thought it was kind of weird. They out there mopping up the joint. You know what I mean? Oh, how you mopping something that already looks clean?
You know what?
But
mopping up the joint.
It sounds like it makes that sound, doesn't it?
It does.
Because they be moving, man. But I checked it out, man. I checked the Swiss team beat up on China.
Right.
And then I saw the Swedes beat up on Japan.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, after I found out, what the house is and how they score.
Yeah.
And this and that and the other, man, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's nothing like marbles. You know what I mean? But it was pretty intense, man. It was pretty intense because
right.
That I don't know the exact length.
Yeah.
But that's a long ways. Get your little slide on and let that thing go.
You know what?
And then here's what really hooked me.
Okay.
When the announcer's like, "Oh, it's curling, it's curling, it's curling," I'm like, "It's curling.
Right.
Dude, it's sliding.
Right.
So, but I got into it. I really did.
Well, good.
I had to give it a chance. You know what I mean? Because, you know, a lot of people, you know, say.
I'm so proud. This is the first step.
Just
stick with me, kid.
Yeah. We'll go places.
Yeah, we'll go places.
Get some ice cream later.
Right. I'm just saying, Mama knows best.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's the Olympics, so you know, just like, you know, folks don't like to give golf a chance, you know, but if you take time out and check it out, you'll find out that it's interesting.
Right.
And curling is actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I can do it.
Yeah.
But my success rate, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find us a curling club, and we'll definitely let you know.
A curling club.
Curling club.
Curling club for men. All right, good people. Be sure to love us. Facebook, Twitter, all those social outlets. And always, when we depart from you, the BG stands for Be Good. Till next time, folks.
Till next time.